This little girl was sitting in the car with her brother. They were waiting for their mom. That's when a woman appeared outside the window. "I'm your mom's close friend," she said. Her hand reached for the handle. But her older brother stopped her. Something was wrong. The woman was wearing their mother's coat. The woman's smile vanished. Realizing she'd been caught, she desperately pulls the handle, screaming at them to open the door. Then, she found it. The car key, still tucked inside the coat. She unlocks the car and grabs them. The boy breaks free, holding his sister's hand. They sprinted away, barely escaping. But when they reached home, thinking they were finally safe, they saw her. Their mother. Covered in blood, slumped in the corner. And the nightmare was far from over. A young woman named Eun-hye walks alone through a narrow, dimly lit alley. Then she steps into the small elevator of her worn-out apartment building. But just before the doors close, a man wearing a motorcycle helmet slips in. He doesn't say a word. They both get off on the third floor. He walks toward the unit right next to hers. Her neighbor. Again. Uneasy, Eun-hye calls her friend to complain. He's always creeping around. Inside her apartment, things feel off. There's a shirt on her table that doesn't belong to her. A beer can she didn't drink. Her face stiffens. And now, she suspects her neighbor. Furious, she storms over to the door next to hers and starts banging on it. "Open the door. I know it's you. I'm calling the police." But no one answers. She stomps back into her unit and heads to check her CCTV footage. She installed a camera not long ago, just in case. As she rewinds the footage, someone knocks on her door. She heads out and sees something strange, a little girl hiding in the shadows at the corner of the hallway. She asks the little girl to return home since it's late and heads back into her house to watch the footage. But the moment the footage plays, her blood runs cold. She sees it, just minutes ago, while she was yelling next door. A man wearing a helmet had already slipped into her apartment. He's standing right there, in the corner of the frame, watching her. Eun-hye turns in horror. But it's too late. The man's step strikes her with a bloody metal rod. She screams, but no one comes. The scene cuts. A man named Sung-soo wakes up in his sleek, modern apartment. He's a successful cafe owner with a picture-perfect life, 2 lovely children, Hosei and Sue, and a supportive wife who adores him. Everything looks perfect, on the outside. But beneath it, Sung-soo suffers from severe OCD. He scrubs every surface of his cafe repeatedly. He can't stand anything dirty. Even a man drying his wet umbrella in the restroom makes his skin crawl. At home, it's not any better and his wife reminds him to take his medication. One day, he receives an unexpected call. It's the building caretaker of his brother's home. His estranged brother, Sung-chul, has gone missing. The caretaker asks him to come collect his brother's things. Something stirs inside him. His brother had a skin disease and Sung-soo was afraid and disgusted by it. Now, in the present, he stares at the email. He never replied. He was afraid, if his brother comes back into his life, his perfect world could fall apart. The next morning, Sung-soo drives to the old apartment complex where his brother, Sung-chul, lived. The place is shabby. The caretaker meets him and says, "Building's being torn down soon. Take his belongings and leave." Inside, Sung-soo steps into the tiny, dark apartment. It's filthy and has a rotten smell that makes him cover his nose. He rummages through his brother's belongings, but instead of finding signs of a man living alone, he uncovers women's items, sanitary pads, undergarments, even 2 toothbrushes. Confused, he calls the caretaker. "I thought he lived alone." The caretaker insists. He did. But the items say otherwise. Outside, Sung-soo knocks on neighbors' doors, hoping someone might know where his brother is. But all of them say nothing. That's when he notices something strange. Under every doorbell, there are weird scribbles, numbers and symbols, carved faintly into the wall. He studies them closely. It looks like someone's been tracking each household by gender and head count. But why? He doesn't get time to think further. Outside, his wife waits in the car with their kids. While she makes a call to her mom, the children beg to visit a nearby game shop. She agrees, distracted. But then, something chills her. A man is standing across the street. Smiling. Staring at her. Suddenly, she panics. Where are the kids? She rushes around the block and is unable to find them. Frantic, she runs back to the car, only to find her children locked inside, and the same man is now sitting in the driver's seat, pretending to drive. Her heart nearly stops. Before she can act, another woman appears, Joo-hee, a mother from the neighborhood. She yells at the man and scares him off. Moments later, Sung-soo arrives. He's shocked, and deeply grateful. Joo-hee lives in the same building as Sung-chul. Seeing how shaken the family is, she kindly invites them in for tea. But inside her modest unit, things grow tense. Her daughter, Pyonghwa, approaches Sue and asks to play. But Sue recoils. Her voice trembles. When Sue's mom asks her to share her doll with Pyonghwa, Sue screams, "She's dirty. I don't like it here." Embarrassed and angry, Sung-soo scolds his daughter. "Give her the doll if you don't want to be punished." Reluctantly, she hands it over. Then Pyonghwa's mother, Joo-hee, glances at them. "You look like a rich family. Why are you here?" Sung-soo replies honestly. "My brother lives in Unit 317. Her face goes pale. She drops her cup. The mood shifts instantly. Without another word, she orders them to leave. "Tell your brother to stop peeping on us." Sung-soo is stunned. He asks what she means. "I haven't slept in weeks. I have to protect my daughter from a pervert like him." Shaken, Sung-soo leads his family out of the building. Outside, he turns to his wife. "Take the kids home. I want to stay. I need to find out the truth." His wife is upset, but drives home with the kids. What they don't realize, someone is following them. That night, Sung-soo decides to stay at his brother's old flat. When he wakes up the next morning, he reaches for his coat, and he pauses. His phone is missing. He checks the main door, still locked. That means someone came in, through the window. Or worse, someone never left. His pulse races as he explores the apartment. And that's when he makes a chilling discovery. Behind a loose wall panel, he finds a hidden passage. It connects his brother's flat to Eun-hye's apartment, the girl who was murdered. Someone had been slipping between homes, watching and waiting. Then, he opens a dusty box filled with Sung-chul's belongings. Inside, a bank book and a hidden diary. The pages are filled with hatred. Anger at their father. Resentment toward Sung-soo. Sung-soo's hands shake as he flips through the book. He heads out to an ATM. When he updates the account, the bank book shows a recent transaction, just days ago, at a supermarket nearby. Is his brother the one watching them all this while? Meanwhile, his wife picks up their daughter Sue and returns to their high-rise apartment. At the parking lot, she sees a strange man. A man in a black uniform, helmet on, staring at them. Then, he steps into the same elevator. Her breath catches. He presses a button. A floor just above theirs. She exhales slightly, trying to stay calm. When she and Sue reach their unit, she notices something else. The man is still in the elevator. Watching. Then, Sue, unaware of the danger, shouts the door's passcode loudly. Panic sets in. Her mother rushes to change the code. Later, she receives a call from the guardhouse about a parcel delivery and heads out to retrieve it. Then, her phone rings. It's Sung-soo. He tells her that someone took his phone and immediately tells her to get home now. Then, she opens the parcel, empty. Another call. This time, it's Sue, the yogurt lady is outside. Her heart drops. "Don't open the door," she says quickly. "Don't let anyone in. I'm coming now." She runs. At the apartment, knocking begins. Not gentle. Frantic. Violent. Someone is pounding on the door. Then, beeping. The intruder is trying to enter the passcode. But it doesn't work as Sung-soo's wife changed the code. Suddenly, the knocking stops. Little Jose, curious, peeks through the peephole. A hand lunges toward him from below. He screams. Sue screams. Then their mother bursts through the door, throws her arms around them, but the man in the helmet is still there. He charges. Slamming into the door, trying to enter the house. She uses all her might to push him away and screams for help. Suddenly, a neighbor opens his door. The commotion draws attention and the helmeted man disappears. Moments later, Sung-soo arrives to a sea of flashing lights. Police surround the unit. They review the CCTV footage, but the man's identity is hidden behind the helmet. One officer tells him that it might be his brother, Sung-chul like he suggested since he has 3 prior convictions for sexual assault. They promise to look into it. The next day, Sung-soo visits the lawyer who once handled his family's estate. And there, a secret is revealed. Sung-soo was adopted into a wealthy family. Sung-chul, the one with the skin condition, was their real son. But the parents favored Sung-soo. They gave him everything, including their entire fortune. And the reason is even darker. A flashback. Years ago, Sung-chul was accused of inappropriately touching a young girl. He was innocent. But young Sung-soo lied. He said his brother was guilty. He did it to get rid of him. He couldn't stand the way Sung-chul's condition made him feel. Or maybe he just wanted his parents all to himself, and saw kicking Sung-chul out as the only way. His father believed him. Disowned his real son. Left him with nothing. Sung-chul's life spiraled. Jail. Isolation. And now, he may be back. Later. Sung-soo returns to his apartment. But something feels off. Outside every unit door, the same symbol. The one he saw in his brother's building. Numbers. Scribbles. Gender codes. Is it Sung Chul? Or is there something worse at play? Just as Sung Soo thinks things can't get worse, his wife calls, panicked. Jose's missing, she says. He left school hours ago. Frantic, she watches the CCTV footage and finally spots their son at the playground. But he's not alone. That same mysterious man in a black helmet is standing right behind him. Sung Soo rushes there. He and a nearby guard chases after the figure. Sung Soo tackles him down, only to realize it's not Sung Chul. Just a regular delivery guy. But someone else is watching. From the shadows, a figure is spying on them. After this, Sung Soo's mind begins to crack. His OCD spirals out of control. He starts bleeding, hallucinating, smashing things in his home. His wife and kids watch in fear as the man they knew begins to unravel. Desperate to find answers, Sung Soo grabs a golf club and drives back to his brother's apartment, but it's empty. Then at the nearby supermart, he sees someone, wearing the same black helmet. He follows the man. What starts as quiet suspicion turns into a wild chase. Sung Soo corners the man and demands answers. But again, it's not Sung Chul. The man says he's Eun-hye's boyfriend, the woman we saw at the beginning. He says he hasn't heard from her in months. But she's still using the credit card he gave her, and because he kept seeing Sung Soo around, he thought Eun-hye was cheating. So he started spying on him. But just then, Sung Soo notices something. Someone's hiding nearby. He runs after the shadow, straight to Eun-hye's apartment. Inside, he searches around, opens a cupboard, and stops cold. A corpse, wrapped in blood-soaked plastic, is stuffed inside. It's Eun-hye. Sung Soo screams. But before he can even move, the helmeted man appears, and stabs Eun-hye's boyfriend right in front of him. Now he's coming for Sung Soo. Sung Soo grabs a knife and tries to run, but the man ambushes him from behind and strikes him with a rod. Bleeding and gasping, Sung Soo reaches for the helmet, trying to see who it is, but gets stabbed in the leg. Just before everything goes dark, he grabs a nearby brick, and slams it into the attacker's head. Bleeding and barely able to stand, Sung Soo stumbles down the hallway. That's when he spots Pyonghwa, the little girl from earlier. Desperate, he begs her to open the door before the helmeted killer catches up. She hesitates, then lets him in just in time. Sung Soo collapses inside. She calmly hands him a first aid kit. As he patches his wound, trying to catch his breath, Pyonghwa quietly picks up his phone, eyes locked on the small keychain hanging from it. "I want this," she says. He takes the phone back from her as he wants to call the police. But her expression suddenly twists. "That's mine," she growls. "Give it back?" To calm her, he hands her the doll. But when he tries to use his phone, he realizes, the battery's dead. He asks to borrow hers. Wordlessly, Pyonghwa leads him into a strange room. And what he sees stops his breath. The room is filled with toys, purses, jewelry, piles of phones. The little girl picks one up and gives it to him. Sung Soo stares at it in disbelief. It's his phone, the one he lost that very night everything went wrong. "Where did you get this?" he asks. "My mom gave it to me," she replies. "Wanna see our new house?" She shows him a picture and he freezes. It's his apartment. Everything clicks. The man in the helmet is not a man. It's Joo-hee. The toys, the phones, the purses, they're from people she's killed. Sung Soo collapses in horror. And as he turns to the side, he sees it. A body, hidden in the cupboard. It's his brother. Wrapped in blood-stained plastic, just like Eun-hye. Before he can move, Joo-hee appears behind him, and strikes him hard with a metal rod. Then, a flashback, Joo-hee and Pyonghwa hiding in a cupboard of someone else's home. Another victim. When police came to investigate, they moved. Their next target? Sung Chul. But on that faithful night, Eun-hye came banging on Sung Chul's door and threatened to call the police. Joo-hee couldn't let the police invade her newfound home. So, she killed her too. Back in the present, Joo-hee calmly begins packing. She steals Sung Soo's wallet, his phone, and turns to her daughter. "Let's go," she says. "We're moving to a better house." Meanwhile, Sung Soo's wife and kids are packing for a new life in America. Just as she's about to leave, she checks her bank app, multiple charges at a local mini-mart, but little did she know, her husband didn't make them. Someone else has their cards. Someone else is using their money. And someone else is going to invade their home shortly. As the family finishes loading the car, little Soo-ah develops a fever. She tells the kids to wait in the car and hurries back upstairs for her medicine. At the same time, Sung Soo wakes up. Still bleeding, he limps down the street and manages to reach a phone. He calls his wife, breathless. "It's Joo-hee," he says. "She's the one who killed my brother. She's been following us, she has our keys. Get out, now." But it's already too late. Joo-hee is waiting. And the moment his wife turns around, she gets struck on the head. Everything goes black. In the car, Sue and Jose wake up. Something feels wrong. Why isn't mom back yet? They try calling her phone, asking her to return quickly. But it's not their mom who picks up. It's Joo-hee. Realizing the kids are still inside the car, she walks toward them and tells them to open the door, claiming that she was their mom's friend. But Jose notices something's off. That coat is his mom's. He stops his sister just in time. Then Joo-hee's smile drops. She starts banging on the window. "Open the door," she screams. "Get out of my car." Suddenly, she fumbles through her pocket, realizing the car key was in the coat. The car door unlocks, and the kids are scared. They bolt out of the car, screaming for help. That's when Sung-soo finally arrives at the parking lot, limping, his leg still injured. He hears his children's cries and forces himself to run. Then he sees it, Joo-hee, chasing after them like a madwoman. The kids manage to reach the elevator and rush up to their apartment just in time. But they forgot one thing: she has their key. And worse, they see their mother, unconscious and covered in blood. Moments later, Sung-soo returns. But Joo-hee rushes in behind him, and she swings at him with the metal rod again. Their home turns into a battleground, furniture smashed, glass shattered. Then Sung-soo searches the house, trying to find her. Suddenly, she lunges out from under the bed and knocks him out cold. She lifts the rod to finish him. But Jose appears, and stops her just in time. She turns, furious, and chases after the kids again. They scream, running. But then, their mother wakes up. Wounded but alive, she strikes Joo-hee with a glass bottle. But Joo-hee doesn't stay down for long. She gets up and attacks her brutally. Then she starts hunting for the kids. Just when she spots them hiding in the cupboard, she reaches for the door, but Sung-soo regains consciousness and calmly tells her. "Take the house," he says. "Just let my family go." She doesn't believe him. So he holds up a lighter. "I'll burn it down," he warns. Her face twists in panic. The house, her precious house, she couldn't let it burn down, so she reluctantly agrees. But just as they move, the sound of knocking echoes through the door. The police. Realizing it's over, Joo-hee grabs Sung-soo and tries to strangle him. A struggle breaks out, the lighter sparks, and flames erupt across the room. Joo-hee screams and thrashes, trying to stop the fire. But the fire catches her clothes. And within seconds, she is engulfed. The police break down the door and pull the family to safety. In the end, Sung-soo, his wife, and their children leave the place behind, ready to start a new life in America. Before leaving, he stops by the grave that holds his parents, and now his brother, searching for peace, but the guilt still lingers. Sometime later, a new family moves into the apartment. They smile, excited to begin their next chapter. What they don't know is that behind the cupboard door, Pyung-hwa is still hiding, watching, waiting.